bump you guys just got. You guys just get thudded. Okay, that should be good audio, right? Good audio levels. It's been a week. It's been a week. I'm looking scragglier than ever. Let's do this procedure. Get this camera back up and running. Boy, I am looking scraggly. I think I gotta go to the barber. That didn't do anything. Okay, cool. I think I need to close Stream Deck and open it again. I unplugged one of the cameras for a doctor's appointment. So let's quit Stream Deck. I can't quit use Stream Deck. Quit. And then start it up again. Boop. I got to get that XL running too. I haven't had time for that. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week. I think I probably look the way the week has gone. All right, so set up, and then we do this unlabeled button. Why is there no label on this? Face procedure. There we go. Stream Decks are going nuts. They didn't do anything. What the heck? Am I going to have to manually do this? Let's try again. Okay, there it goes. And then my dulcet tones and beautiful production quality. Good, good, good. This should be configured right, but it's not quite right. Am I going to get a visual copyright strike for having the Undertale logo up? I have been tearing through... oh, wait, no, I didn't mean to do Undertale. Deltarune OST. Both good, but... needs to be one singular video, because that way we don't get ads. Yeah, one big old video. And then we're putting it very low. So hard to hear if you're on Twitch, but how dare you game in your off time, dude. I can't just work on projects all the time, I've discovered. Here, let's get YouTube chat open before I move on. Before I forget, lest I forget. There's a chance that my doctor's gonna put me, hey, Madam E, what's up? There's a chance that my doctor's gonna put me on Manjaro, which will be expensive, but I welcome the opportunity to change a couple habits and possibly lose the absolutely gigantic amount of weight that I've gained since I started streaming. Since I started streaming. We got the dog, and so I'm walking the dog a lot, but the dog doesn't like to walk far distances. So let's do the micro procedure. Let's get that one back up. Good, good, good. Let's do the burn the subs procedure, even though it's going to put it out of focus. But I mean, look at that video quality. Where's my my on-air light? Hold on. When did that fall over? Oh, this whole place has gone to shit. I have no control anymore. I lost it. There. It's on air. Let me make it a little bit more visible for you guys. There we go. Now it's on air. You can't even read the text on that. Oh, well, maybe when I have the camera set up properly. Hold on, let me do this. What's up, Bad Direction? BTS focus. Like that. And let's work on BTS focus for this thing, properties. I gotta remember I'm on a 3-button mouse now. Figure video. Oh, that's a little weird. Yeah, the on-air light is just gonna be hard to see, I guess. I also saw the eye doctor on Monday. And my prescription has drifted. It has changed in the past, what, 12 years? My left eye has apparently gotten in line with my right eye. So now they somewhat match in prescription finally. Because my left eye had all kinds of retina problems and it pushed the retina forward a little bit, giving me weird sort of dual vision. So now I've got my safety glasses and then a set of lenses for this coming in the mail. They found all the right lenses. They're getting them in the mail. And so then I'll have new glasses and the all new found ability to see leaves on trees. It's like, wait a minute, trees have leaves? Nobody told me this. There was some absolutely freaking hilarious in the break, absolutely hilarious Germa stream with like Sark in it. And as a fan of Sark, they did just an amazing improv bit with sort of a house building contest. It was amazing. Yeah, it's a whole new world when things aren't like double images at a distance, because I had a lot of that going on. But the glasses guy was really good. They were able to do my whole appointment, including retinal scans, like horizontal retinal scanning, without dilating my pupils. And that made my entire month. That made my whole month. This past week has been hell for Oh Bother. It's been absolutely terrible. But there's a shining light at the end of the tunnel, and that's not having to have my eyes dilated, not getting a headache after my eye appointment. Because, you know, after any eye appointment where they have to dilate, the sun is out in full force no matter what. The sun's just like, hello, how are you doing today? And I'm like, they put lasers everywhere. But yeah, oh my God. This week has been absolute hell, and I want to tell the story, but I want to wait a little bit, so I'm not telling it constantly throughout the day. Because you guys know me, I'll bitch about something all day. I have no filter, and I have nothing holding me back. But yeah, I got through it. I got through the week. It was just a little bit torturous. What a week, and it's only Tuesday. That's this week. Last week was worse. This week, I'm worried about other stuff that's existential and horrible that is happening to my country. But yeah, last week, it was all worrying about myself. So I actually did pick up Deltarune, and I've been playing the crap out of it. I haven't gotten to Chapter 3 and 4 yet. I am steaming my way through Chapter 2 steadily. I think I'm missing stuff. I'm probably missing a lot of secrets and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how involved I want to be, because I can be a bit of a completionist with games. But we're back. We're back. I've got so much stuff to work on, and I haven't worked on any of it. I took this as like a pseudo vacation from projects, which is why we're back on the steering wheel and why foot spray has come up. There was a suggestion last week from none other than Shortlurker, which is the wooden block that I have. From Shortlurker, he had this wonderful YouTube video that characterized a lot of these 3D scanning sprays, because the material that you're scanning doesn't necessarily lend itself to the 3D scanner's technology properly, because they're doing like a point cloud of infrared dots that it's trying to get distances on. Those dots can show up weird if they hit something like, you know, that's going to affect the light in a weird way. So what you do is you spray it with something that turns it matte, M-A-T-T-E. That matte spray can have all kinds of wonderful chemicals in it. You want it to come off clean. So apparently putting it up against $35, $40 a bottle sprays, this foot spray is designed to keep your feet dry, right? And I'm definitely going to capitalize off of the foot fetishists that are just looking for titles with feet in it. Absolutely. I have no qualms. No holds bars. I'm all about freaks. Get the freaks in here. I love it. But anyway, so they've been using foot spray in order to make a matte surface, and apparently that the performance of the foot spray was really, really good. So I bought some because it's like $5 a bottle. Some weeks ago, the news feed on Facebook, well, there's your first problem, came up with the news about diabetes. I hear about diabetes news all the time. I'll tell you this, and I'll say it, and I'll say it again because I have to say it all the time. I've had diabetes since 1992, and every month there's a new story about how diabetes is going to be cured tomorrow. Until I see a bottle that says cure for diabetes on my desk, I'm not giving any of these things heed. Now, what do you got? Now, this is a generative medicine where you get somebody's DNA and you figure out what's wrong with their DNA specifically, or what will affect them better specifically, right? I asked ChatGPT. This is problem number 2. Problem number 1, Facebook news. Problem number 2 is I asked ChatGPT. I have not seen AI do anything but be absolute and complete dog shit in terms of representing research and bodies of data. If you know about a topic and you use AI on it, you're just like, whoa, hold on, this is not good. And the fact that, okay, this only happens when I look at stuff that I know about, is I see ChatGPT expressing ideas that are wrong so confidently in a field that I know. It doesn't happen in fields I don't know. So it's probably right about those other things, right? So anyway, back to your comment. Sorry about picking it apart. Some weeks ago, newsfeed on Facebook came up with news about diabetes. I asked ChatGPT, and the answer is this. Yes, there really are reports from China where 2 separate patients, one with type 1 and one with type 2, experienced long-term insulin dependence after... Wait, experienced long-term insulin independence after stem cell-derived islet cell transplants. I hope it's real. Me too. China's been doing a lot with degenerative medicine. So, and again, I already mentioned it before even reading the body of the paragraph. I had a feeling. I saw China in there, and I had a feeling this is what you were talking about. And I've actually read some stuff about it. I don't know a ton. And that's the thing that ChatGPT won't tell you. I've read some stuff about it. They take your DNA, they look at the structure, and they figure out what would be effective on you. Why do you have diabetes? Why did your immune system attack the cells? Which was actually funny question on the eye doctor. You got to fill out the paperwork, and the paperwork says, "Do you have any autoimmune disorders?" And I said, "Diabetes." And then it says, "Do you have diabetes?" And I'm like, "Yes." I guess people with diabetes might not be as educated about it and know that it is an autoimmune disorder. My body decided that my islet cells, the islets of Larange in the pancreas, attacked what are called beta cells that produce insulin. So my body went, "What the fuck is that?" And it attacked it. And so suddenly I have to take insulin for the rest of my life. It was a really bad decision on my part. And so I get to pay exorbitant amounts of money for insulin. And I get to be on a public health program and all kinds of fun stuff. And I get to lose my vision and lose every now and then I get static electricity. Not static electricity, you know, the equivalent of TV static, but coming from your nerves, from my fingertips, which is what keeps me working out. I try to stay healthy, but I am a beach ball right now. I really need to tighten the bolts on stuff. And so I was talking to my endocrinologist about this. Might put me on Mounjaro. Hopefully I get on it, but who knows? I got to do some working out and getting on a new medication. I can also use that to get the ball rolling on biking again, which I've been talking about. We can even try to gamify the biking. If we can do some racing game stuff, I can actually hook the bike up as a controller for the racing game. That'll take a little bit of ingenuity on our parts, but it's not hard to do. Turning things into controllers is one of the easiest things you can do on Twitch. So I want to do that. I want to turn my bike into a controller and then give you guys the ability to make it absolute fucking hell, because the human body is not meant to live a cushioned life. Our bodies are designed to be destroyed and tortured to no end. You work out until it hurts, and eventually that creates a pleasurable experience because your body's going, "I am damaged," and it goes, "Okay, here, have the happy chemicals." Like, right? The body is not designed to sit and engineer things. The brain maybe, but the body no. So we got to get to work on that. Where's my thing? 8 viewers. Oh no, the week off has taken its toll. All of the sleepers, all of those folks who stick on the Twitch and lurk, they've gone to the hills. They're gone. That's okay. We'll earn them back. We'll earn them back this week. This week we're gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna work on Burn the Subs on Thursday. Hail or high water. It's not hell or high water. We don't experience hell in our weather system. Hail or high water. I'm sure as hell hope we don't get hail. Although I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Twitch is doing a beta 1440p 60 FPS 7.5K bitrate broadcasts. Currently, every single broadcast from Oh Bother. Hold on, let's put this to where's my weird porn folder? No, wait, it's on the desktop. PC recording. Desktop. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Every single one of my streams is about 10 gigabytes. And as much as I would love to start carting in 6 terabyte hard drives, I don't think I can afford it. I don't think I have the cash for that, to be carting in 6 terabyte drive. They would fill up like what? A quarter of the amount of time that a 6 terabyte would take with the 1080p. What's the difference between the storage of 1080p and 1440p? I don't think we're going to go 1440 anytime soon. If they make it available, I will eventually go to it. Yeah, and it's more bandwidth. I have more bandwidth now, though. Verizon upgraded all our stuff a little while ago, and I've slowly been upgrading around here. My webcams are 1080p. They don't go above that. But maybe one day I will get new camera equipment for the whole shop. The recent big purchase for the shop was this thing, the CR scan. And I do wish I could have put the money for that. Was that autofocus? Did I just see autofocus? Yes, I did. You son of a... set up arm procedure. Go, arm. Activate, arm. There we go. We back, baby. All right, yeah, so this purchase could have been like 2 webcams. I really should have held out and gotten the CR scan from Creality through the Fiusion360 program that I'm part of. This is not a sponsored stream. I decided not to put all the hashtags on this one. I could have. I don't know what we're going to get to today. We're going to be looking at CR scan. I hope we get to Fiusion360, but, you know, who knows what I'm able to get through during a stream. So, yeah, hold on. I need to edit this text. Where's the... That's not it. Oh, I don't have text on this one. Yeah, okay, so we'll put that up here, and we'll add text. Oh, whoops, that's a... remember how to use OBS? We'll call that TW. And TW needles, blood. Might as well do... Should it stay huge? I don't know. People might not even like seeing these words. Can't cater to everybody. Filters, and let's drop a shadow on that. Shadow. Called shadow. And default settings should be fine. Although I do want it to be a little bit... Foot spray. I refuse to elaborate. No, yeah, foot spray. I'm gonna keep the mask threshold up the size a little bit. No, that's too much. I want it to like just barely be there. I guess that's okay. It makes the text pop out, so we'll keep it like that. I guess I'll make it a little smaller. We have a similar hairstyle, aka not going to the barber. Is it cold down there in Australia land? Because it is quite. It's been temperate because of Canadian air, but it's the summer's starting to humid itself up, which takes a toll on this, especially on the mullet back here. Yeah, I got to go to the barber. I've had a hellish medical week that I'm going to talk about in just a minute here. It's been a trip. For sure. I read a story from Down Under that had a follow-up today where someone's sister dropped their kids off, didn't even drop their kids off, put their kids in the care of their kidless brother, and the kids had to get on the bus on their own. And apparently in Australia, there's more buses and it's easier to do. But they got on there with just their pajamas and went all the way to this brother's house. And the sister turned off her phone and went on a cruise and got caught getting on the ship, and the police ushered her off, and there's a whole hullabaloo about the whole thing. It was some wonderful drama from Down Under. It's winter here, and 48F is chilly for me now. Oh, you got used to the weather. Oh, I see. Yeah, 48 Fahrenheit, I am in shorts. 48 Fahrenheit is like, I'm sweating a little, but I'm pretty comfortable. That's like comfort weather for me to go outside in the way that I normally dress. Although, you know, I could be wearing a thinner flannel during summer, but it's got that whole layered thing going on. And so if I'm absolutely miserable and sweating, nobody knows. And if I'm in moderate amounts of humidity, I am insulated and not hot. Anyway, yeah, so this week I scheduled all of my doctor's appointments because I forgot to schedule them for months. And so I had back-to-back appointments at the beginning of the week. I went to the dentist. No. At the beginning of the week, I went to the phlebotomy. It's the blood doctor, whatever blood doctor I see for basically high iron in my blood. And the only way that they have to treat that is to extract a lot of blood. And I've got deep veins. That's not me saying, it's not me excusing me for being a fat ass. I actually just have deep veins. That's just how it's always worked with me. And I found out that overhydrating before the blood appointment makes things a whole lot easier. So I did that, and I went to the blood appointment, and they extracted a bunch of blood from my hand, and then said, yeah, we will do a phlebotomy this time. So they get this big vacuum bottle, and they hook you up to the vacuum bottle. And so my body fights all of this all the time. Yeah, it's basically leeching. It's leeches, but without those good leech chemicals that make it not hurt. Because I always seem to get the new nurse. I get the nurse that goes, hold on, I have to ask my colleague a question here. What am I doing? You want me to put that in his arm? What the fuck? Oh, I'll be with you in just a minute, sir. What the fuck? That's the person I always get for doing the blood stuff. And I'm like, please have mercy on me, please. I am but a poor man who has been stuck with the needles all the time. And they always fuck it up, and I always have every nurse in the place. They know me. They go, oh shit, it's Mr. Creosote when I walk in. And it's not just because I'm an indomitable fat ass. But anyway, this person was new. She was very nice, very cute nurse. She was fine. She did her job fine, and she actually was able to get a good line going, kind of. So they start in this arm. Note that I have a huge bruise right there. They start in this arm. Get the needle in there, never comfortable. I actually have a coping mechanism, and that's disassociation through math. I add the number 7 to the number 7 again and again and again. And because my brain was just not made like other brains, I have a difficult time adding 7 to 7. And I went into engineering, I went into electrical engineering, and I can't add 7s together. Intrinsically, like in my mind, it's ridiculous. My life is a joke. Anyway, so I like how you noticed how cute she was. What else do I have to do? This is like an infusion area where they do like cancer treatments and stuff like that. And I'm just here bleeding out. So anyway, they get the line started, and it seems like it's good, and then it clogs and everything goes wrong and it doesn't work. They try to flush it, nothing works, right? And these are flushable lines. So what they have is a Luer lock Y connector, and then the needle coming out the other end, right? And so they drain the blood from one line, and if they have to inject saline solution, they go through the other line, and they're supposed to pinch the line when they inject the saline solution. So start over, move over to the other side, move the bottle over to the other side, more saline, more everything. She gets the line going over here. Notice the bruise. Less bruising, but this one was apparently fine. She called my veins juicy. Apparently I had juicy veins, and I had to like bite my tongue to not make a weird comment. It's already weird enough. They don't need my commentary to ruin their day. So anyway, my juicy vein, perfect needle in it, everything is locked down. Hey there, juicy veins. Yeah, let me just ruin their day. No, so they get that one going, and that one's apparently really good. So I'm bleeding out into this giant glass bottle, right? Bleeding out, and if you know engineering, you might be able to actually spot this one coming a mile away. Same bottle as before, perfectly dripping out. You know, I'm dripping. I'm juicy. Blood going into the bottle, slows, drip, 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 stop. That was a good music cue. The music stopped immediately. That was like the end of the song. I couldn't have planned that better. Blood stops emptying into this thing. I'm squeezing a ball. They decide to flush the line. So she goes to flush the line. Now, she didn't pinch the line. So we've got a Y connector that's going to a bottle and me. And so what happened was this system is at a pressure, my blood pressure. The system's at pressure. The bottle has a lot of volume in it, PV equals nRT. I have pressurized this bottle with my heart. And so it's just this Y connection. So they go to flush it, and they don't pinch the line. Saline solution goes into my arm. I'm squeezing the bottle. Nothing is moving. We see clear liquid. And then all of a sudden, air. And I see air go into the Y thing, and I see air go up into me, air, about 7 cc's in here, and I feel right about here a glug, glug, glug. So immediately something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. My veins did this, where there's supposed to be blood. And so that set off Fatanon subscribing at a tier 3 for 75 months. It was a very weird thing that happened. I don't know how that triggered that. 7 cc's of air right up into my fucking right arm, right up through my shoulder. Felt it like this. Air's definitely not good in the bloodstream. The thing about air in the bloodstream, is if it happens suddenly or if there's about 50 cc's. So we're talking about 7, which is a fraction of the amount, right? 20, I think, is really bad. I got like 7, right? I think it's 7 cc's. I don't know. I could have forgotten the detail because this was such a fucking horrifying experience. Feeling your vein going from, hey, I'm a vein, I'm just, I got blood going through me and stuff, to going bad. So that immediately, the nerves in the veins triggered a vanovasal response. Vanovasal response, I know well. I've had them before, but I'm sitting here like, cool, I'm gonna die now. I guess I'm just gonna die. Whatever you just did to me has killed me. I'll try to be polite during the process. But so air is in my bloodstream. Vanovasal response triggers. I flush, all the color's gone from my face. I cold sweat for a little bit and feel kind of hazy. That's my venovagal response, is I nearly pass out. I don't pass out, I nearly pass out. I get to be conscious for all of this. I don't get to check out for a little while. Gives me the heaves and the jeeves thinking about it. Me too. I get the heaves and jeeves thinking about it as well, and yet I am so close to it all. It's one of my friend's dad is an anesthesiologist, and his dad has some of the best bedside manner that I've ever seen, which is none. The patients are like, I'm a little squeamish around needles, and he's like, too bad. Like, that's kind of the way it is with diabetes, is like, do you like living? Then you're not squeamish around needles anymore. That's one of the things. And one of the things that I do is I just look up at the ceiling and count tiles, or I do that weird adding 7s in my head. It's just these powerful ways to disassociate and get yourself away from the pain. This is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to really, really be like cringy and awful. You just have to grit your teeth. So speaking of teeth, I had that awful response. They figured out that the bottle, or I figured out, I had to explain this to them, that they had pressurized the bottle above my blood pressure. And since the bottle drips down and is full of air, that's like a check valve. So the saline solution went down and then the air went up in order to PV equals nRT, the whole thing, to equalize the pressure in the system. That's what I do when they give me root canals. You'll never guess what the day after was like for me. So actually I had a day in between. I had a day to be like, after that horrible experience. I made it out okay. My shoulder hurt quite a bit. Yeah, and so just to follow that up, like, I'm fine now. Everything's fine. I've got big bruises. I've got less iron in my blood. I feel much better. I'm more awake and alive and alert and reacting and stuff. So success, but I mean, goddamn, she could have pinched that line. That would have been nice. Then I would not have been filled with air like a bouncy house. But anyway, apparently the bubbles probably went to my lungs. I don't think that's their first stop, but it's the first thing that can disperse. Glad to see 7 milliliters of air didn't destroy you. It could have given me a stroke. I was starting to like do some like, okay, am I going to start seeing ghosts or something now? But I took deep breaths during the whole event, and it felt like when you've been running in cold air and the bottom of your lungs, like when you take a big deep breath, the bottom of your lungs kind of hurts. That's what it felt like for a little while. And I think the bubbles found my lungs where they were able to just, where the gas was able to disperse. I don't know. I think there's other filtration systems that are involved with that sort of thing. Online, there are explanations, and I read through them, but I didn't remember any of it. But that kicked off medical week. That was the beginning of medical week. That was not the end of medical week. That was not the end of medical week. A day goes by. I feel like shit. The next day, I go to the dentist. I was getting sensitivity to hot and cold on the very last tooth of my mouth. Cue 4 hours later, I am bent over backwards. My spine is a U shape on a dentist chair with them picking shit out of my tooth, out of my rearmost molar on the top row. It apparently had 6 nerve branches in it, and this is the first time I've ever had something like that done. And if I were to evaluate getting a shitload of blood drawn versus the root canal, I'm going with the root canal. The root canal was a much less stressful experience, even in spite of the fact that they're digging in my mouth with all these tools. The dentist had some kind of a cool, like, plastic or rubber sheet that went over my mouth, so I'm just like, oh, and just completely, it's just, I'm not here. How much did all of this cost you? I don't want to talk about it. I think it was $1,500 for them to dig out my precious tooth veins and then fill it with cement. I haven't gotten the cap yet. I need to go back. I need to do another appointment. Oh yeah, it cost me everything. All of my dignity is what it cost. But she was a really good dentist, so. It's $3,500 in Australia. Damn. I think I lucked out. I don't know. It still hurts. My molar still hurts. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. It's been like 3 days. But it was the worst part about the root canal is the injection of the what do you call it? Numbing stuff. The numb stuff. Those needle pricks were not fun, but they went away immediately. It was like a half second of discomfort, and then I'm not here. I'm not here anymore. You do what you need to do. I can't feel anything. All this is just positional discomfort. That's all it was. With the blood draw thing, they don't do any numbing, so your arm just hurts. My arm still hurts, actually, from that. So that's just what that is. What I should have done is just immediately just stop the air, but I think it would have gone the other way. I don't know. Some money's in a lifetime of trauma. It really wasn't that traumatizing. I don't mind dental drills. I don't mind that stuff. I work with tools. When I was 9, I had a root canal done. Years later, it cracked. Oh, got infected, had to remove the tooth and put in a prosthetic. I should go ahead and get a cap on this thing, huh? If it feels a little bit bruisey. Sure's not hurting from your nightly activities. Me thinks back to last night when I was chewing on an ice cube. Yeah, maybe. What do you mean? So the next day, I had an endocrinologist appointment, and that was on camera. So I got to move all the cameras, get my lighting right, make sure my mixer's plugged in properly, get the mics set up. Is that good? Does it sound good? All right, let me do another test, make sure all the devices are there. All right, I got this all set up. I look good. There's a nice background here. I'm framed all right. It looks okay. It's a little low for the framing that I usually use. This should be okay. And my doctor just literally opens his laptop, and it's like at an odd angle, and he's got like laundry behind him. Like a pixelated doctor. Great. Thanks for putting in any effort. This really was medical week. I told you. I told you. So that was the endocrinologist appointment. And let's see. Friday, I did not stream because I felt like a potato. I just couldn't do it. After all the bullshit that I went through, I was like, I'm not going to move my setup. So I haven't done anything for this amount of time. It's a pseudo vacation. Then on Monday, I had an eye appointment, and it made my whole month. It actually was the most pleasant eye appointment I have had. It was a full retina scan. It was a full evaluation of my prescription and everything. It cost me about $450, but they didn't have to dilate my pupils. Usually they dilate my pupils and it ruins my whole day. I drive into Philadelphia because I need to see Philadelphia every now and then just to give me some I don't know what it is. I just need to. But so drive into Philadelphia, get my eye appointment done, and then I drive back with giant pupils in laser safety glasses because those are dark enough that it keeps me from immediately getting a terrible headache. And then I sit down here with the lights off, sometimes with headphones on, just to I hated that. I need to. So this time they did the whole eye exam, didn't dilate. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing. I still had to do the A/B testing where he's like, is this better or is that better? And I'm like, I hate these questions. I really do. But I'm done. I'm done with medical week. I only have a follow-up visit, and then I can get my prescriptions whenever they come into the glasses place. These are the old prescription. So once I get the new prescription, everything is going to be so clear. I mean, I can already see stuff close up pretty nicely, but yeah, having that full evaluation again and getting that all correct was quite nice. Oh, that means if I ever do VR again, I'm going to have to spend another $60 on inserts. Damn it. I knew I shouldn't have jumped the gun on those. VR, by the way, if you have like a prescription at all, getting $60 prescription inserts for the VR is amazing. It makes it so you can see everything. I know they're pretty low on the totem pole, but you already spent $1,000 on VR. Might as well put in that extra $60 to make it look cool. But then again, the layers of dust on top of the VR headset over there, yeah. I really need to finish playing Alex, Half-Life Alex. But yeah, during this I bought Undertale and I've been playing that just to get out of myself for a while. It's approaching afternoon here in California. Well, that's nice. We're in the early afternoon here, as usual. My gallivanting around and telling stories has taken about 40 minutes, which is pretty good. We're gonna do some 3D scanning today. Barely disguised foot fetish stream. Let me get this stuff over here to the bench. I'll probably set up a stool for this. A stool. Hold on, I get the other stool over here as a platform. Every open surface that is facing upwards is a work area. Welcome to a shop. It is an unfortunate reality of the whole thing that it is a constant cycle of cleanup, and every single unabetted open surface is a work area. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll get to work in a minute. Off to sleep now? All right. Yeah, all the horrifying stories, and then you're going to bed right after it. Godspeed, Disco Sundays. I was going to say house days. That is my cousin from another continent. Ooh, I'm sweating. What temperature is it in here? What is the temperature? 73.5 degrees Fahrenheit. You can translate that into whatever units you speak. Every vertical surface will have stuff strewn upon it, and actually every vertical surface has stuff mounted to it. Every horizontal surface has stuff placed on it, has projects placed on it. Let's get the trigger warning out of here. I'm done talking about that. I will not talk about any of that stuff for the rest of the stream. I am pretty open about talking about needles, but I know that those stories are particularly traumatizing and people just don't, I don't want to hear about that. So I'm not going to talk about it. There's a lot to get through, and I don't know what we're going to learn today, 3D scanning. I don't know what we're going to learn. This is off the cuff. I haven't worked on this stuff for a week. I had a week of appointments. I'm still not done with all those appointments, and my endocrinologist might actually put me on Mounjaro, which means that I might stand to lose a ton of weight. The only thing I hate about that is that if you lose all the weight, it tends to reverse itself if you stop using the medication. I don't want to permanently be on one of these SLG1s or whatever. But if it loses the weight, it loses the weight. That was the whole push for me to get testosterone, and why we discovered that I have low iron levels is that I had a high red blood cell count. And so we were looking for the cause of the high red blood cell count. Might have been the iron, might not have been, I don't know. If I can get that red blood cell count down, my doctor is more open to prescribing me to take external testosterone. I don't understand how gym rats are just able to source this stuff. They don't got prescriptions, they have hookups. I could be doing that. But the endo is fearful that I might drop dead if I take testosterone while also having a high red blood cell count. Fine. So I'm doing the iron thing, hopefully to take that level down. But then in the meantime, he's like, well, why don't we just put you on Mounjaro? I'm like, the last time I suggested this type of drug, you jumped down my throat. Like, He was like, no! Like, when I asked him about it simply, he was just like, no, we're not. Oh, okay. Jeez, sorry I asked. But apparently now he casually is just like, we should put you on Manjaro. We're going to see if we can get some for you. I'm like, okay, all right. Fine. I'll try that too. I'll try anything at this point. Aside from diet and exercise, I'll never try that. I will never diet and exercise. No, but I mean, if they put me on that, then I'm absolutely going to start changing some habits. People that know me know that I don't eat a ton. All right. We got the CR scan. Let's see if we can start that up. Yeah, watch and learn. See what you can know. So let's get the music out of here. And I'll start talking about relevant stuff. YouTubers cannot hear the music because otherwise my channel will get crushed under Google's thumb. They will destroy me and my channel down to the atoms. So we don't have music on the alternative channel. The alternative channel exists pretty much as record keeping, but I do have chat up here. I don't know. I don't think anybody has done super chats. I don't think I have them available. I think maybe if that channel takes off more, I can turn them on. But until then, it is literally just a digital holding place for my VODs and another avenue by which to get chat messages into here. So I appreciate you YouTubers watching, and you are a special few that are able to actually tune into this sort of thing. I don't know what I need in order to get the word out there about Obother. And I think one of the big things is going to be burn the subs. We're going to work on that on Thursday. We're going to do wiring. It's not going to be exciting, but we can hang out and label things and wire them and just be that kind of artist. It'll be one of those streams where I organize things, so that can be fun in and of itself. But today I wanted to put something to bed, and that's not like, I don't mean like I want to go to bed and do foot stuff. We're gonna do foot stuff on camera, right? We're gonna put our feet together. Let's not do that. I got foot spray, Odorex. apparently, and yes, I am trying to exploit that sort of thing because it's funny. But apparently, oh, that's the gripper. Everything I say is innuendo today. I can't get away from it. We got our grippers out here, huh? The gripper. Really? Really? It's gonna be that kind of stream, you freaks. You freaks. Look at the perverts. All right, anyway, short lurker of Ertlurker fame. Ertlurker is, we burnt short lurker as a test. This is a test block for burn the subs, and it is now holding my security torques for my security torques example about how much of a joke security torques are. But Ertlurker is just something, it's like an inside joke on a stream. It's just part of a block of wood that I used to test burn the subs way back in the day. But short lurker, the actual person that watches this channel, there was foot stuff in Kurt Vaught. Good company. I don't know whether it's Vonnegut or Vaught or anyway. I'm not adept at pronouncing things. Short Lurker posted a video, and it was a bunch of these professional 3D scanning sprays going up against one another. If you're scanning something, there's all kinds of like textures and weird stuff that kind of gets in the way of the technology that you're using to scan. Unless you have like an actual tap probe doing the job. If you have something that's reflective, the infrared laser scatter, the dot field, will bounce off of this and could potentially hit something else in the geometry and mess up all of the time of flight calculations that are being done by the scanner, if you're using a time of flight calculating technology, which is what our CR scan is, which is pretty much the best entry in the cheap level 3D scanners that I know of. That I know of is, of course, doing quite a bit of legwork there, because I don't research these kinds of things. I just went, CR scan seems like a reasonable price compared to the other ones. Buy. That was a birthday gift to myself. So we're actually using this thing, and the project in mind that I had for it was scanning a car part in order to ascertain what the geometry of the airbag is. And this is a professional car part from Mercedes. Mercedes is not really known for cutting corners. They're kind of known for the opposite of that. So the geometry, the three-dimensional geometry of the airbag seems simple, but maybe a little bit more complicated than that. So I thought that 3D scanning the part would yield us a model that we could use to dead reckon an airbag for this thing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, if we can get it close, that would be really cool. So I got the scanner, I've got the wheel, I've got everything going for me. We tried doing some scanning, but this thing is, you know, if it doesn't make you go faster, chrome it, right? It's chromed. It is a soft chrome, but it is still a chrome. We tried spraying it with chalk spray. Chalk spray, uniform white, matte, because it's chalk, and it washes off. Well, mostly. There's still some chalk left on this thing. What happened? What is that? Veet Nukem subbed with a Prime for 40 months. Hey, thank you so much, Veet Nukem. I really appreciate that. Veet Nukem, long time viewer. So this is a reflective part, so it's not gonna scan all that well. So then I tried doing dots. Well, okay, well, with the chalk spray, it didn't scan any better or worse. My dentist tells me that they're working on 3D scanning mouths for partials and dentures. That's pretty cool. I could use the 3D scan for the cap on my tooth. I had a root canal over the past week. If you want the full story, look for the trigger warning text over there on the earlier part of the VOD, because that's me telling the story of my week. I've had a rough last week. Everything got better at the end, and I'm better for it. I'm just still kind of a little bit on the mend from all that. I'm bruised. I'm bruised and defeated, but I will get over it, and I'll be stronger for it. Yeah, so this thing, this thing is reflective. So the scan of it alone was okay. I'm seeing if I can get it to be a little bit more uniform and even, and maybe be a little bit more workable on our end, because we have to position a bunch of stuff like a millimeter off of surfaces. And perhaps it's my knowledge of Fiusion360. I am not a mechanical engineer. I don't know Fusion all that well. I know Eagle, and I know circuit board design, and I know how to make things look pretty. So my dentists in Norway have a 3D scan for the mouth. Neat. That'd be nice. And then you can get the files from them and 3D print it and turn it into a screwdriver bit holder. Like, that's my mouth. Okay, so and then their files will corrupt, and you have to send them your files, and you go to the dentist, and when you get home, you go, oh no, oh my God. It's a Torx bit. Oh no, my teeth are bits. Actually, this is very convenient. So anyway, this is the part that we need to scan, because the airbag sits right in front of this. Having a scan of the stuff that's inside is good, because it gives us some distances that we can put big posts on, but those big posts can be a separate part from the actual airbag itself. So I'm isolating this thing out, and then I want to find something that'll help me 3D scan it. Short Lurker links me to this video, and this guy tests out a bunch of the $40, $50 spray-on 3D printing helper chemicals. It's essentially just a spray can full of stuff. For us, it was chalk spray. I was going to try, well, we did try this. It didn't really work that well. It turns out white is probably not the best color, but if it's matte, that works too. But anyway, we tried this. I tried this on my own. It didn't really work all that well. It's an option, but it's not a great option. So I tried putting dots on it, because the dots help orient the 3D scanner so it doesn't get out of whack when you move it a little too quickly. That didn't go so well for me. Maybe if I was super fast matte and I was scanning like a car, I could get it so that the scanner would view 4 of these things. It needs 4. It needs to view 4 at a time. So this thing doesn't really lend itself to having 4 of those dots visible at any given point in time. We can try. We could try it again, but I tried a little bit. I put some dots on some of the surfaces and started to scan and said, I can't see 4 of these. And I'm like, oh, I don't think that's going to be all that useful. The scan was instant and on screen with color. I'm sure it was a very expensive piece of equipment. We are dealing with a $200, $300 scanner. It's a lot of money. I think this thing will pay dividends for the kind of bullshit that we get up to around here. I'm hoping that maybe one day we can scan my head and I can put it on something and it'll be funny. For all the weird stuff that we get up to, I think this is just what we need. I'm still getting used to it though. I I need to work with it and figure out what I can do with it. You know, what are the limitations and what are the advantages? But yeah, so tried a bunch of methods, nothing's working. I decided to order the foot spray, and I got the foot spray. Here's the foot spray. Oh, a word on the 3D connection stuff, by the way. When I was going to set up stream today, I tried to use the 3D connection CAD mouse, the $90 super duper CAD mouse that is portable. So if you're on the go and you're using one of those online CAD things, maybe you have some extra tools, that might be an advantage to you. But if you leave this thing on your desk powered for a week and your desk gets nudged every now and then, the battery will fully drain. So I need to remember to turn this thing off for extended periods of not using it. Because I went to go use the computer today and this thing had 0% battery. So it's plugged in right now and it's charging. And it's on the USB-C brick. It's on the high wattage setting. I wonder how much it's charged in the past. Probably 40 minutes. I'm going to give that 40 minutes. Let's do 3D connection software. I think that reports battery level. The 3D connection software, it's not quite as featureful as my gaming mouse software. It doesn't have the macros and stuff, but what? But it does have application specific macros. Can I see the charge level? No, I can't. Well, maybe with Bluetooth connection. Bluetooth and other devices. Yeah, now it tells me 52% battery. So in about 40 minutes, it's gone about 52%. I know that there are mice that aggressively turn themselves off, but I guess this is not one of them. It will drain itself over the course of, full 7 days sitting at the desk with nothing going on. Again, I took a vacation from doing projects. I love doing projects. It's in my blood, but I had to get blood removed from my body. So I didn't have as much project in my blood. But yeah. So I tootled around with stuff during the week. It drove me insane, actually. Anxiety over deadlines that don't exist is what I get for doing this stuff. But yeah, it was a necessary week, and now we're back into it, so we can hit the ground running and get some stuff done. We're going to work on Burn the Subs. But right now, the suggestion, due to that video that Short Lurker linked to me, is to use Dr. Scholl's Odor X Ultra Odor Fighting All Day Odor Protection Guaranteed. Does this say foot anywhere? Wait a minute. Where's my, yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, feet and, this is the first mention of feet in the entire bottle. Dr. Scholl's Powder Spray Odor X Ultra Odor Fighting All Day Odor Protection Guaranteed, destroys odor instantly, freshens feet and shoes, absorbs sweat. I guess it's not just for feet, but they really took a long time to get. Shake can well, and hold about 6 inches away. Spray generously on clean, dry feet. So there they're specifying feet finally. Why are you so reluctant to say feet? What's wrong with you, doctor? Why don't you say that? And between toes. Oh, get it in between those toes. Oh. In case of clogging, clean the nozzle with a pin. Caution, don't apply to broken, irritated, or sensitive skin. Broken, irritated, or sensitive. No, I don't think, well, no, I don't think we have that. I don't think we have that. Do not use while smoking or near heat to avoid flame. Avoid spraying in eyes, contents under pressure. Do not puncture or incinerate. Do not store at, where can I, wait a minute, where can I store it? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Ingredients, butane. What the fuck? Wait a minute, what? What is that? Wait, run that by me again. Run that one by me again real quick. Butane, like butane. Like butane? Like butane. Butane is in this? Oh, how do I turn this thing off? There we go. There's a little button that I push in. Butane. Bhutan. Butane. Huh. I don't feel safe anymore, Chad. Butane, huh? Okay. Store in a cool, dry place. What? Wait, how cool? It says do not store at... And then nothing. Stupid labels. Well, anyway, we got the gripper. I got my grippers out. I got my grippers out on my foot spray. Why not put a flammable gas in foot spray, I have to ask. Why don't you just live your life and stop worrying about what other people perceive? Put the butane in the foot spray. Free yourself. Free yourself from the matrix. Huh? Just do it. Just put butane in the foot spray. Come on. You can do it. The doctor, it didn't stop the doctor. You can do whatever you want. Spray butane in your face. Okay, anyway. We got the gripper. I've gotten stuff with the gripper before. This is like, come on, man. You're trying too hard. Like, I can tell you're not fighting kind of the same way that I am. It's kind of as blatant as I am today, that the innuendo is just going to be mixed in with everything else and kind of a solution that we can't take out of solution. There's no removing the innuendo from this stream. That's how it's going to be today. Where's Faddenon to be extra gross? He's usually extra gross, but it's going to be forced and stupid all stream because, I mean, look, the gripper, and it's got a fist choking this chicken head bottle. Come on. There's no going back. We've crossed the Rubicon on this one. It is in the very DNA of this stream. So, all right, let's get the gripper off of here. This is like fairly adhesive and it can leave behind sticky shit. So I gotta peel slow. I bought a bunch of Windex online and they came with these things on it. In college, my buddy used to get Axe body spray and he would tie a bunch of rubber bands to the Axe body spray to get it to constantly spray. And then he would roll it like a grenade into the elevator as the doors were closing. Which, you know, that's assault. That's assault from a chemical weapon, but you got away with more back then. They're vacuuming upstairs, so there's going to be a whole lot of crazy noise that you might be able to hear barely in the background if my audio mixing is correct. But it's somewhat disruptive. Do you remember back in the olden days when you could take a can of hairspray and turn it into a blowtorch? You could still do that. This stuff is full of butane and it's also flammable. This thing says it's flammable. I wouldn't suggest doing it because on something like this and something like hairspray, you have stuff in those chemicals, right? Like it'll still be flammable, it'll make a big ploof of smoke, but you don't know what stuff is in there, which means, and I'm taking a different angle on this. You think I'm gonna say it's not safe, you might hurt yourself. Well, yeah, but my reasoning is different. Wayne Johnson subbed at tier 1 for 61 months. Hell yeah, brothers. Wayne Johnson, thank you so much. I really appreciate these long-term subs. You guys are some old names in this stream. Here's the reason that I say be careful with stuff like that. And it's not because I'm a safety nanny, some nimby-pimby, you know, people will play with fire. You play with fire, fine. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby. That's the best way to play with fire. But also, you know, make sure you have your head about you in critical situations. Don't panic. You see so many videos of people pouring out the gas can, trying to get the fire out of the gas can. And that's just, same with like oil fire on a stove. You want to slowly put the lid on. You need to have your wits about you in a situation that's crazy. So anyway, playing with fire. Spraying random stuff. If it's a powder, it is obviously flammable. I've watched too many USCSB videos to not know that. Powders that aerosolize and get that air mixed in with them are oh so explosive. And so you spray something out of the bottle, you hold the lighter there. You don't know what the flash point of that solution is. You don't know what the flash point is. Flash point is when the liquid turns into fire. And this is very important for stuff like breathing fire. If you want to practice breathing fire in the shower, fill your mouth with water, try to blow a trumpet, right? You want to and aerosolize that water, which in this case is aerosolized water and it's not flammable, which is good because you don't want your shower to burst into flames. So that is actually practicing spitting fire, going and spraying so that you have a spray. The second really important thing about breathing fire, because I used to fire breathe, is the flash point of what you are spitting out. People grab alcohol. Whoa, purple! Code Rush is rating with a party of 9. I am sharing forbidden knowledge right now, guys. Aside from all the foot fetish crap that's been going around and the fact that we've had to endure the gripper. This thing holds the spray bottle closed, I guess, so they ship it and it doesn't blow up. But the gripper, like, come on, guys. Or, you know, if that's what you're into. All right. Code Rush, thank you so much for the raid. So anyway, I'm sharing forbidden knowledge about fire breathing. You want to practice fire breathing? Try to liquid out of your lips. It's kind of like playing the trumpet, only you're trying to create a strong aerosolized spray with all the might of your lungs. Now, I sang for a significant portion of my high school career, so I have extremely strong lungs. And so that has helped me with the fire breathing and doing a proper, like, you know, dragon's breath and doing all that crazy stuff. I had a tutor, though. Like, that's the important part. Have a tutor, because fire sucks. The thing about the liquids that you're blowing out of your poop hole, I mean your brownie hole, whatever. The thing about with the fire breathing and right, the flash point of what you're breathing is very important. I've seen people breathing fire with alcohol, with grain alcohol. Really bad idea. Grain alcohol burns like immediately. It gets way too close to your lips. You're going to burn your lips. It's going to do less damage to your throat, but it's not terrible. You can drink milk ahead of time to try to sort of base-ize all the acids that you're going to do, but the liquid of choice is lamp oil, unscented, unflavored lamp oil. Lamp oil is really good because lamp oil has a much lower flash point. The fire is going to be further away from your lips, your kissy lips. It's going to be further away. It's not going to burn and chap you. Lamp oil, however, does get into all of your tissues when you put it in your mouth. So you quickly take a sip, wipe, being really careful to wipe every time. You gotta wipe, especially if you have a beard like I do. I didn't have a beard back then. I probably wouldn't have had a beard if I tried to breathe fire with a beard. Ooh. But anyway, because that heat gets really close. I don't think you can do it with a beard. I could be wrong. Choose some lamp oil that doesn't have such a flash point. But like if you use the jet fuel that they use in the poi, the spinning fire stuff, forget about it. That's gonna hurt. But you can feel that stuff getting into your tissue. So don't do it a lot. Throat and lung cancer is no joke. But there are ways to mitigate, you know, eating breads and stuff like that, so that if you accidentally get a little bit of oil down your throat, which you will, it doesn't immediately upset your stomach and you don't go from a fire breather to a water and other alcohol that you've been drinking that night breather. Because that's a fun trick. Just terrible. So I already told the story of my horrible medical weekend and the fact that I got air injected into my veins. And if you want to hear that, that's at the beginning of the stream. It's under a trigger warning. Right now, we are having a foot fetish stream. I mean, we're using foot spray that was suggested by a YouTube video, and YouTube has never led me astray. Except that one time. But YouTube has never really led me astray. This stuff has butane in it, and it's flammable. What? I don't understand. What we're trying to do is we are trying to get a scan of this part of my steering wheel. This part of my steering wheel is a bevel that fits into this area right here. And that bevel carries buttons on it. We don't really care about that. What we really care about is the airbag. Currently, I have a giant gaping hole. The innuendo today is just it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. So here's my throbbing hole in the middle of my steering wheel, and we need to cover this thing for shame. I would like to design my own airbag. There is an airbag shape for this thing. It's like kind of a round thing that sticks out from here, and you can push on it and it pushes this plate back, which is the horn. So I want all that stuff to work. I would like all that stuff to work. Actually, it does work. I just want to cover it. I want to cover my shame. And you know, if we get frisky and I get a good scan of this thing and we're actually able to make the piece that surrounds this, we could think about putting a screen on this thing. I could maybe make a LIN bus enabled screen that we would be able to communicate with from our little takeover device. the way that my steering wheel works, this force feedback steering wheel, is that the original Mercedes part, the steering wheel, I didn't want to alter because it had kind of a complicated way of putting together the matrix of the buttons. We could have taken that over and made it like a wireless wheel or whatever, but instead we decided to use what the Mercedes uses to communicate and ascertain whether or not you're pushing buttons. And that is the LIN bus, the LIN bus. It's a 2-wire, 3-wire if you're counting power and ground. Technically it's an offshoot of 1-wire protocol. It's very similar, has some key differences, and it was made by a consortium of European engineers who copied 1-wire. They just copied 1-wire. Is there no shame? Is there no shame? Anyway, yeah, we hacked into the wheel using that sort of known protocol and are able to get all of the functions out of it that we want, which is pretty cool. So if I were to make something that was like a little display on this that did like the status, I could either communicate to it with LIN bus, or I could make it look at the LIN bus and figure out what's going on. I think I'd probably want to communicate to it because then I can give it more status information. I can have like a whole boot protocol thing and stuff. I think that would be pretty cool. But every project dies as soon as we go to try to do something with screens. This seems to be the way things go. What are the instructions here? And I already looked at this, but it's like, shake can well, hold 6 inches away, spray generously on clean, dry feet. Those are clean and dry. And between toes. I don't know how we're going to do that. In case of clogging, clean nozzle with a pin. There's no other information on here. How long does this last? All day. Well, what if I have a short day? What if I have to go to the doctor and that's sort of, I have a half day? Will it last the half day? Is it 24 hours or is that like 8 hours? This is devoid of useful and pertinent information. Okay, that's new. That's a revealing this thing has a cloaca. What the hell? Okay, so that's the spray handled, and I guess we just shake it shake it. What was the adjective? Well, okay. I was gonna say vigorously. That's what I was looking for. Vigor. Is this good enough? Is this doing anything for you, chat? Is this my whole setup is shaking? My monitors are shaking right now because of this. I can do this all day, and I have. Feels like it's pretty well solutionized. Actually, I was looking into airbrushing because I would love to be able to paint stuff one day. We could do a miniature painting stream. Look at me, I'm the hyper nerd. I'm never gonna see a girl again in my life. I love Warhammer. Anyway, no, the thing is, like, I want to be able to paint some stuff like that car body, and I was thinking about using it for the chalk spray so that I could get a much more controlled spray. I've had this thing for a little while. I bought it on a whim. You're back. I missed it if Friday, if you were... No, I was not here on Friday because on Friday I was just purely traumatized. I was just a being that existed entirely of trauma. And if you would like to know more about it, you can go to the beginning of stream and look for the big text trigger warning that goes up about here. Because I tell the story of my week. It takes about 10 minutes, I think. It was medical hell week for oh bother. But I got through it, and I'm better for it. I'm just a little bit bruised and broken. Anyway, so I bought an airbrush a while ago, and I decided to actually get the right hookups and stuff and start to learn how to use it. I've looked at a couple videos. Airbrushers are fascinating because they are mechanically pretty complex, but also very simple. There's components of this thing that are doing multiple jobs at once. Like the pin that goes through here is the valve. It's the cone for the airflow. It is also a shutoff for the paint flow out. It is also a cutoff for the amount of airflow, or that's the amount of paint that you want to go through, and then you push this down for airflow. It's fascinating how many jobs this one thing can do. It's really cool. But anyway, so I was looking into airbrushes. I have this thing and I have it hooked up right now to the mini compressor. I would love to use this for something. What I was going to do is spray some of the chalk spray into like a bottle so that I could put it into the cup of the airbrush. Because this stuff is ready to spray, right? I don't have to add any thinners to it. Apparently, you need to spray this into a container and decant it for a while. It actually needs to be able to off-gas the pressurizing stuff that goes into the spray. It's completely fascinating, insane. But so I didn't end up doing that, but I do have the airbrush like ready to go over there. I need to buy acrylic paint and find something to paint with the airbrush because it'll be fun. And then eventually what I can do is do like giant Buddy Jesuses on people's hoods. I can draw like, you know, Chat GPT looking MFs on the panels of cars. I'll never get to that level. I am something of an artist, but I am also a completely out of practice artist, and I was never that good. So I like my sculpture art because it doesn't involve talent. It just involves cleverness. I'm a clever artist, not a good artist. All right, so where are we going to spray the foot spray? I guess I can get either a cardboard box or, I mean, if I was actually, it's funny, if I was actually applying this to my feet, I would be doing it on the edge of my bed with my dogs out, right? Like I just spray it and it would get in the carpet. But if I'm doing it on a car part, I'm treating it like I'm painting, spray painting something. And I'm like, where's the spray gonna go? What am I gonna protect things with? Let's see. I've got a cardboard box here that I'm using exclusively to hold USB cables. Do I have anything else available? No. What about over here? Nothing over here. Okay, yeah, we'll just spray on the cardboard box, I guess. I have to dump a bunch of USB cables onto the floor. These are the nice ones too. Dump. Sorry, cables. All right, so we got our spray booth. Make sure that that's covered. Spray booth obtained. Foot cheese replenishment spray. What a time to be alive. Is your foot cheese keeping your dogs from getting moist? Because like I wear socks, I wear compression socks because I'm a giant fat ass. My feet do get a little bit moist throughout the day. But this stuff, Odorex Ultra Odor Fighting Powder Spray. So this is foot powder in spray form. And apparently it worked really well for the scans. It had really good results. It wasn't as, like, it was the best one this guy tried, and it's the cheapest because the bespoke 3D scanning sprays didn't perform as well in the tests. Now I don't have this YouTube video anymore. It was linked somewhere in the Discord, probably in the stream project section. Probably got to scroll up quite a bit to get to it, but they did a pretty methodical test. So without being methodical, because we are a Twitch stream after all, I'm going to try this stuff out. I'm going to try the Odorex because it's no skin off of my teeth. Skin off of my back? Who's donating back skin to effort on projects? That seems like one of those phrases that's... Anyway, we'll just spray in the box like this. I think if I do it properly, I could just get a good coating on it. So we're going to arm the spray bottle's cloaca. Armed. This stuff has been shaken to within an inch of its life. No skin off my yak. I don't have a yak, and I'm constantly shaving the damn thing. So let's just test this out, like, away from stuff. And again, if I was doing this to put it on my own feet, I would be doing it in the bedroom, just on top of my covers. I wouldn't be putting all this precaution to spraying it into something. Isn't it ridiculous sometimes? Oh, wait, there's a lock. There's another lock. No, that's the lock. There's no other things that I can manipulate. Just the whole cap twist to the side. All right. I'm so confused right now. We're using a foot powder spray in order to spray it onto a thing that we're going to 3D scan. 3D scanners, at least the technology that I'm using here today, is the Creality CR scan. And what the Creality CR scan does is it uses basically time of flight in a couple different ways. It's the same thing Kinect does. Kinect uses a bunch of accelerometer. Well, actually, this thing has better accelerometers and stuff inside of it. But Kinect will use a infrared laser and a diffraction grating. And the diffraction grating just makes it so that there's a point field. It looks like Starry Night. And all these random little dots will translate to time of flight sensors. So it's using visible spectrum and infrared to do time of flight on a point field of laser dots. And if you do that, you can figure out a bunch of different distances within a field of vision, do all the corrections, and create a 3D representation of that visible field. So that's what's going on with this. The reason that we're using foot spray is because what we're scanning is chromed. It's got reflections. And so those laser dots, having gone through a diffraction grating, could bounce off of something and then hit something else and then get observed by the camera. And if that happens, you've got a different time of flight mechanism going into that, and it can confuse the scanner. In fact, this piece right here was completely missing from our scans, and that's partially resolution, but it's also because when you get closer to it, those little dots are going to hit this and then hit this, and they'll confuse the camera. I'm getting added. I don't know why I'm getting added. Hold on. Let me just deal with that real quick. It's probably Dr. Scholl's being like, stop talking about me. I'll sue. Oh, no, it's just usual Discord silliness. Usual Discord silliness. Here we are. Who's adding me up there? Why would you add me during my stream? Okay, so we're going to try the foot spray, and the foot spray will deposit a matte powder onto this part. The other conditional on this stuff is, like, I could come in here with matte black spray paint and spray the whole thing, and that'd be fine. We'd be able to scan it. This would never be the same, though. This is chrome, a matte chrome that's been deposited on plastic. So apart from chemicals that would get rid of paint and not chrome, I really don't want to risk that. I would rather just use a spray that I can wash off with water. And so that's what this stuff is. That's what this foot powder spray is. So I got to make sure that all the nooks and crannies are actually clean, since the chalk spray left behind a residue. But then we get this stuff sprayed on. I don't know how long it takes to dry, or if it comes off dry. I don't know what the procedure is here, but we'll try to get as much of this scanned as possible after I'm done brushing my car parts. Chat gets a weird twinkle in their eye when I start talking about spraying feet. I don't know what that means. Hopefully that resolves a little of your confusion, that whole explanation. Projects like this, I'm explaining myself 7 different ways, and then we try it and it fails in a half a second. All right, let's try the dog spray here. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like hard to actually get this thing to work. How do I describe that smell to you guys? It smells kind of floral. Oh no. It's going to smell like a shoe store in here. Basically, you're setting up an OnlyFeet account. My Wiki Feet entry should include some stuff about this. Oh, I would hate that if I got a Wiki Feet. Oh, there's some of the powder. This is not easy to manipulate. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It does not want to spray. Something is, like, not disengaging up here in the front. Is the whole thing supposed to pivot back? I guess so. I guess it's supposed to pivot backwards, but, like, this lock is so over-engineered. The middle click spot. No, the whole head rotates when I try to go further. Yeah, there's only 2 settings. This thing sucks. God, it smells not good. It probably smells fine for feet. I'm not going to do that. That'll ruin my nails if I try to get it off like that. Why does this thing suck so bad? This thing should be perfectly happy to spray all over the place, and yet it just doesn't work at all. I get, like, this impotent... It's an ejaculation. Let's be serious. It's horrible. Oh, is there a mark on the top of my steering wheel? Wait a minute. Oh, it's the leather. Huh, I wonder if I need to treat the leather on the wheel. This thing, only click it once, you're clicking twice. This isn't a click. All right, what is this mechanism? Where's a screwdriver? Is it supposed to be inverted to spray? It doesn't say anything about that. Use daily. Oh, I love how in the directions it says use daily. Shake can well and hold about 6 inches from the dogs. Spray nublets generously on clean, dry feet and between juicy toes. In case of clogging, clean your nozzle with do sounding, essentially is what it's saying. When you rotate it. That's what I just said. Look, it goes, the little cloaca goes away, right? Goes away, and then the whole head turns when I try to turn it. So go back the other way, and it exposes itself, and then the whole thing turns again. So, invert. Whoa, wait a minute. They didn't say anything about holding it upside down. What the fuck? How did you know how to do that? Doctor recommended loved by feet. What? God, it smells like a shoe store in here. Loved by feet. Yeah, we have Fletchen just outed himself as a foot fungal enjoyer. 90-day money-back 3D scanning, yeah. Shake can well and hold about 6 inches from your dogs. Spray generously on clean, succulent, dry feet and between juicy toes. In case of clogging, use sounding. Only on pizza. Like my pizza dry. Smelling like foot powder. All right, well, bottoms up. How do you do this? Like, oh, it's gonna smell like a gym locker in here forever. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. It seems less like a powder and more like a liquid, but it is drying matte. I do see it getting a little bit matted. Might be worth throwing outside so you don't have to breathe it all the way. Too late, mofo. Too late. Too late. Your cries fall on deaf ears. Deaf foot-smelling ears. Ugh. God, this thing really fights you. All right, that's enough with that, because now the shop is going to smell. I could maybe make the shop smell like Febreze, but this stuff smells close enough to Febreze as it is. With the Canon? What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know. Either that or I just covered this thing in butane. But like this isn't doing anything. It just kind of does that one pithy little thing. And then when I invert it, it sprays a full thing. So. Yeah, like nothing is happening here. You get like a tiny little burst of it. Maybe that's the way it's meant to be. I don't think so, though. Seems weird. See if you can spray that can in the normal direction. What do you think I tried first? Why would I didn't just start it inverted. Seems broken. Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe if we find the video, while we wait for this stuff to dry and while my olfactory sense gets put through an absolute fucking churn of getting used to a smell, maybe we can pull up the video and see what they did, what they show in their YouTube video for spraying it. So that would be stream projects, and if we scroll up and up, there we go, here it is. Oh no, that's scale model basics. Wait, that's the wrong one. Keep scrolling. There it is from Short Lurker. It's a YouTube video. about spraying your dogs. Get those dogs out and start spraying. And don't look me in the eye when you do. All right, so they were using a whole bunch of different sprays, and they found that the overall, like, which one is the foot spray here in orange, it blankets this entire left side of the chart, meaning that it's good at what it does. Now, I've had the luxury of watching this entire video, so you guys can trust me, but if you really want, I'm gonna put this in chat. I'll put this in Twitch chat. I should put it in YouTube chat only. YouTube gets links and Twitch gets music. Now, I'll put it in Twitch chat because that's just where the most people are. But yeah, they explain all their methodology and all the stuff that they're fair trade. It says useless pony. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Their test methods were to spray just this little square and see how that's scanned. So where are we? Where's our foot spray? Testing, evaluation method, intro. Show feet. Oh, they're using an airbrush. Son of a bitch. Did they decant the foot spray? So that's how I was getting like amazing results. He didn't trust the terrible bottle. Wait a minute. No. Here we go. It's spraying perfectly. Mine must be defective. That has to be it then. This just has to be defective. Let's pry it off with a screwdriver and see how it works. That's always fun to do. And hopefully I don't pop the can when I'm doing this. All of my screwdrivers over here are not the kind that you would boost into a car with. I need the car boosting screwdriver. A true screwdriver of culture. The kind that you can open a car door with. Actually, this isn't that. This is a little shorter than that. I don't know what happened to my car boosting screwdriver. I used to have just this hugely long flathead. Take a toothbrush and try to clean the nozzle. The nozzle's brand new. It's not the nozzle. It's not the nozzle because if I invert the can, it sprays perfectly. This is how you hurt yourself. Now, I could do the method where you just hit it with a hammer from the side. I don't know if that would really do well. This thing is snapped onto there with the force of 1,000 suns. I hate that. I hate that so much. The reason that I hate that is when I was a kid, I got a bottle of spray confetti because I was obsessed with spray painting things. I wanted to get a bottle of spray confetti back in the early 90s in Philadelphia when we went to the video rental store. They had a bunch of kitschy like dollar store things there with it, and I was like, I want the confetti spray. I want to play with that. So we get home and there's a piece of tape holding the cap on, and I go to open the tape and I get the scissors and I go bam right into this part of my hand, and I had to get several stitches because I had an open pair of scissors and I was trying to get a piece of tape off and it just slipped and went straight into my thumb. So there's a bit of a scar there still. Anyway, that sucked. Which is why I don't like putting stuff up against the edge of one of these cans. I don't think a spudger is strong enough for this. And I also don't want to ruin my, ruin my good screwdrivers, my worths. There we go. All right, that wasn't so bad. All right, so how does this thing work? That actually worked really well. That was nice. Thank you for not forcing me to get a tetanus shot. Boosting screwdriver. I appreciate the fact that you're outside of my body right now. All right, this back over there. Most of these spray cans work with the same technology. You push this thing down and it allows stuff to go through. It's just a simple valve. We've had them forever. Sometimes there's a rubber plug in the bottom. But yeah, okay, so this is all folded aluminum and it's pressurized and it's full butane, which is an odd thing to do with foot spray, but apparently butane is one of those very compressible fluids, so it's technically a liquid along with the foot powder. I'm guessing butane because it comes out dry, like it'll immediately evaporate and you'll be left with dry stuff. That's my assumption. But so anyway, it's the same technology that we have in all of the other sprays. So I could get a better nozzle and put that on this and use it. I don't know if I have one available at the moment, but maybe I could go find one. Yeah, there might be a spare one. So what is this thing doing? This is like a, what is that called? A panopticon? This is a panopticon. It's so that all the edges of the spray bottle know that they're being viewed by the center. Butane, so if you invert the can, you get frostbite on your foot. Is that what is in the spray air cans? Is that why it freezes? Is that butane? 2.01. And it's simple. Just, here's its cloaca. So that twists over to there. That's locked. That means that the back of the can there, is that pushing up against? Yes, it's pushing. All right, hold on. Let me just see. I've got a couple features here that I just want to look at. I don't think you're right about that. That's all it does. It just does that. Doesn't even do very well. Oh, why is it not? Oh, there we go. It's because it's distorting when I try to manhandle it. So that's the click, is it just going by this little clicky thing. So that holds it closed, which means this thing can't travel down because it's got this little pit over here. So you flip it over to open. Was that maybe where it fails? Or this just doesn't move enough? So one of two things. Closed, open, but sometimes it can get stuck. Like that. And then I would press it down and it would break it. That could have been what happened. Or that could have just been a result of me bending it right now. That's maybe what that was. It won't click, but it'll press down, and it maybe doesn't press down all the way. That does press down all the way, though. Yeah, see, now it's just not functional. It could just be that this wasn't enough distance, though. It worked well upside down, so I don't know what that was all about. I don't think this is where the defect is. I think I just broke that for nothing. Yeah, I could just get rid of the tab. That's a job for forceps. So no more clicky. Well, I could also just repair it. I could just bend it the other way until it distorts. Till the mirrors of the polymer go with my ultimate scheme. So that still clicks there, still clicks there. That's when it presses down. And it looks like there's nothing else to this cap. I mean, this front piece is just kind of held in place so that it can pivot from the front. Yeah, so that's closed. This is open, and when it's open, absolutely nowhere to go in the front. It just presses down on the edge of the plastic. Yeah, I mean, I could use a different cap. I could also just put this one back on and use it too, but let's find another cap. Although the other cap might have a different opening size, but I do have plenty of spray bottles over here. Like, for instance, this one that I'm never going to use. It's a good color and it's kind of neat, but it's like I don't spray paint the stuff that I do here all that much. To use this metal cast stuff, Wexo sent this in when we were trying to do other kinds of coloration of stuff. I was actually trying to legitimately coat something with anodization. So he sends me this spray bottle. That might not actually be compatible. There's a slight difference here in that one has this giant shoulder. I don't think the foot spray is going to do anything. This one's a different method of pushing down too. It pushes down in the middle somehow. Wait a minute, what the fuck? What in the world? Yeah, this one does like a flat spray, but what's pushing back up on the pin? On the peen? How would that even work? Pressure? Well, not compatible anyway. Carefully fit that back on so I don't spray it all over. They did something funky with the nozzle on this one. Let's find something else. Let's find another one. Another sacrificial spray bottle that we can get the nozzle from and perhaps get some good results. Something that I probably haven't used a lot. Well, there's just butane over here. Let's see. Methyl ethyl ketones? No, that's not a thing I want to trifle with. 2X Ultra Cover Paint and Primer. I think I've already used this, though. There's a Plastidip. Plastidip will probably be the closest thing to a powder that we can get. And Plastidip comes up clean. So I don't think the Plastidip nozzle will be messed with. Oh, this is another one that Wexo sent so that I could paint a 3D print in the bother colors. Yeah, that's what it is. It's special for the metallic stuff. Oh, and I have used it before. Okay. And it's a different type of nozzle. Damn it! Why is everything so specialized? Next. Next nozzle. I'm going through the chemical bin here. These are all so old. They're probably all bad. Oh, I have some spray oils here too. That's the metal stuff again. All right, how about you? Nano penetrating lubricant, universal. Sure. That looks like it's the right type, like they didn't spend any money on it. Okay, sure. Of course, this could probably also put oil into the spray. I'm gonna like tilt this and it'll be facing me and it'll in my eyes like I'm in Jurassic Park. Ugh. WD-40 is a different type of nozzle. It's not gonna work. All right. You little jerks. Let's see. Plastic primer. Plastidip primer. Ugh. No, that's not going to do. Tech spray. This is a conformal coating. I actually think this might also be the wrong type. It is the wrong type. All right. God damn it. All of my nozzles are the wrong gender. Wrong thing. It doesn't work. I want to see a can explode. I'm not going to blow up a can. Why would I do that? All right, so I've got tons and tons of like Plastidip that I never use. The one paint that I really don't want to mess with, that's my good paint. Oil, spray oils. 3M general purpose spray adhesive. What are you? You're the wrong type. God damn, they're all the wrong kind. I have none of the right type. None of it's gonna work. Not even a little. Try the paint. It's I'm down to the paint can. The Duplicolor. Nope, it's the wrong type. That's the same one as the Plastidip. Same weirdo. It's the same one as the metal stuff. And then WD-40, just to put that one to bed. It's like the last spray nozzle that I have. And I don't really want to foul up the WD-40 with foot spray. You can see how often I use my WD-40. It's essentially useless. If you don't want aluminum to stick to your end mill, WD-40 is pretty good. If you want to push water off of your tools, in which case, like, why are you using the spray oil? Why not just dry your tools off? WD-40 works for that too. It is not meant as a general purpose oil. It just isn't. Because if you use it as a general purpose oil, it will tend to push away the good oil that remains. You might not have enough oil where you're working, in which case maybe get 3-in-1 oil, But if you spray it into something, WD-40's primary purpose is to dry up and leave behind, this might actually work, and leave behind nothing. No water, nothing. What I'm gathering is I need to start hoarding can nozzles. If you get a good one, it's worth plucking off and putting it in a drawer. Yeah, I'm gonna do that from now on. It's good for getting all the oil off your bike chain. Yeah, exactly. Like if you want to displace something, in this case, water displacement formula 40. Water displacement, not spray it into your locks, spray it on your toothbrush in the morning. These MFs out here are doing anything they can with WD-40. This I keep here because I use end mills on aluminum. And so you spritz it with that WD-40 and you don't get the event where it grabs a chip and holds onto it and it like cold welds to the chip. It'll give you that little bit of separation. I'm gonna clean this thing off a little bit. I don't know how oily everything's gonna end up. We'll just see. It could be that the can itself is broken. For cleaning things, I suppose that's a good one too. Basically, the wrong application of WD-40 is all the stuff that people think that they can use it for, which is oiling things, getting things to start moving under oil. Like, that's wrong. You should never use it for that. WD-40 is for displacing and cleaning and just generally, like, if you want to clean something up, if you want to get ready to put real oil in. But the problem is it can dilute the real oils or greases that are supposed to go into something and, yeah, ruin your day. Like, yeah, on the can it says it stops squeaks. Yeah, you spray it in your door hinge and then it dries up again and starts squeaking again. You spray it in your floor fan in order to get the bearings to stop squeaking, and all the grease that's remaining will leak out and then your fan just seizes. I've had it happen before. Dentists hate this way. Yeah, you lubricate and displace all of your plaque with WD-40. Foot spray. It always comes back to the foot fetishists. Why does it always? Whatever. Yeah, square peg meet round hole. It may work, but definitely a different diameter. I use WD-40 to clean up foggy headlights. What's going on with foggy headlights is that the plastic is becoming less uniform over time because all the MER chains get separated in micro cracks and stuff like that. Now you can spend a whole weekend, and I have done this before, with varying degrees of sandpaper in order to sand it back down to a smooth surface. Then, in order to skip the very end, which involves sandpaper so fine that you might as well just get a brown paper bag and rub it up against it, you can skip that whole process by using car wax. And when you do that, you're filling in those microscopic little deviations in the lens and allowing it to be more lens-like by not diffracting light, right? So when you do that with car wax, it comes back. It comes right back. If you do that with WD-40, I don't think any of the oil properties of WD-40 are doing anything to the polymer chains. I don't think that's letting them seep back together because it doesn't like soften it in any way. I think all you're doing is you're doing essentially what the wax does, which is to fill in those gaps and make it more optically clear. So again, you're going to do this and then it'll come back. Your headlights will become foggy once again. So the best way to refurbish your headlights is to figure out whether or not you can buy just the lenses. Because that's what I would do with the BMW, even though I'd have to put my headlight in the oven, loosen up all the weather sealing, pry it apart, put a whole new piece of plastic on there. Boom, you're back in business. You can do the same thing with clear packing tape. Clear packing tape, and if you have a frosted window and you put packing tape on it, it can clear the frost and you can see through it. Yeah, same principle. It's just, in this case, it's the glue, it's the adhesive on the tape that's sort of getting into those pores, and then it's got like a smooth plastic surface from the the substrate of the tape that makes things nice and clear. Those are the principles behind all that stuff. So if you get one of those headlight refurbishing kits, just know that you're going to have to wax your headlights once again. And there's all kinds of weird tricks, and all those weird tricks are just doing the same thing. a wax is the best thing that you can do to skip those steps. You can also just spend a lot of time, you know, like those videos where the guys like polish the back of an iPhone. Same process for clearing up your headlights. Or time is money. A couple $100 is not worth 17 hours of this. Just spend the money. Deep thoughts without bother. Put packing tape on the headlights. Yeah. yeah. All right, so what did the spray do? Did the spray do anything, or do I need to respray with the WD-40 nozzle? It's looking a little bit more matte than it was, although it was already pretty matte. M-A-T-T-E. I mean, it did look like it did a significant spray, but if it's meant to be sprayed right side up, then we were mostly probably just outgassing butane. Oh, that's the one. Off spray for bugs. No, that's not a fix. That's not a fix. I've heard of that before, and I've seen that before. I'm telling you it works. It doesn't last forever, but you can reapply. Car wax will last longer and better than off spray. Off spray is not meant for refurbishing headlights. It's not meant to be, well, I mean, I guess it's meant to be out in the weather, but it's not meant to like go on a car. No, just no. Why are we so ghetto that we're using bug spray on our fucking head? No, just use regular sprays. Don't be ridiculous. This doesn't exactly fit. The tip is a little girthier than this thing likes. So we'll just try to kind of force it, see what happens. This thing sprays like shit right side up. Is that like meant to be? Why are you so ghetto? We're using foot spray? Because the 3D print sprays are $40 and I don't want to spend $40. Ugh. Ugh. Also, other people's safety does not depend on this foot spray. No, it's just getting it all over the cap. No, something like headlights deserves to be properly done. I feel like I'm getting more butane with this thing upright than upside down. Did something like break off in the can? The nozzle here is too big for WD-40. Here, this thing technically got spray on it. I don't know if this is going to improve the scan at all. We could try. And then I'm going to clear out the WD-40 spray. It's going to smell like foot powder. See, that spray's so nice. I don't have hairspray. I don't 3D print with hairspray. I mean, I could try like running a glue gun on the surface. Do a glue gun run. Fun, run, clun, bum, bun. Pah! Well, it smells like a Foot Locker in here. Maybe the WD-40 smell will offset it a little bit as it dries up. I think there's something wrong with the applicator because it works perfectly upside down, but it's really meant to be sprayed right side up. And I guess I can't really test. No, I'm not going to do that. It'll get all over my finger. I don't have enough like nozzles to test this out. I mean, look at this stuff where it's dripped, concentrated and dripped. That's matte. Whereas this is not really looking like I've done a whole lot to it. In spite of all the spraying, you can see the surface here. It looks like I barely got any powder out with the spray. And it was already kind of matte, so I don't know. I think I'm going to brush this off and we're going to try again. Because like, look at that. That's what I want. Or somewhere between this and whatever I have over here. And that WD-40, you can see it's drying out. It's drying out. WD-40, this is an oil. Nope. It's a light oil. It's water displacement, so light that it dries up in air. And people intentionally huff the fumes. Maybe they've added like an addictive chemical to it. So imagine I'm a foot. Seems like the toothbrush removes it perfectly fine. That or I'm smoothing it out over the surface. I don't know. This thing was already matte to begin with, so it's hard to tell if there's stuff making it more matte. I don't think the 3D scanner is going to have a good time with this just on its own. It cleans off pretty good. It's supposed to be just the powder. Yeah, see, there's still like remnants of it. I gotta be careful not to damage this thing. There's a little mark right there. Yeah, like it got hit with something, but it doesn't really look like it did anything. That's weird. Maybe I need to really put this stuff on deep. I'll just make sure that the nozzle's open by using some pin tools here. Let's have a good pin tool at the ready. Probably need a finer one. There's I don't know if I have the ones from my 3D printer still. They might be in a drawer somewhere. Those ones were real fine tips. The end of a syringe, which I always have. Maybe a little pin gouge. That's 2. This is way too wide. Also not deep enough. Let me see here. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not taking apart the airbrush for this. That would be psycho. That's psycho stuff. Syringe. Yeah, let's just get a non-sterile syringe that has already been in my body, so I can get a sterile one the next time I do an injection. And I'll just use that because it's still a diabetic needle. It's very small indeed. Not one of those big scary ones. But what I can do is get that in its hole, do a little bit of sounding. Oh yeah, you like that, don't you? It does stop immediately into this thing. What the heck? This thing built differently? Or is there a blockage? Or does the routing of the stuff go in a weird way? Huh, that whole thing moves. That's weird. Put your mouth on it and blow. Not doing that. Yeah, I think... Okay, so they say if it blocks, poke something into it, but the hole only goes back like a millimeter and then it stops because the geometry of this spray thing is all weird. Weird. Why would they design this like this? You know, make it aerosolize better or something. But like I can't get into the whole thing to clean it. All right, let's try that. See what happens. Okay, we're back together. I got to do high-level maintenance on all this stuff, huh? Okay, so if I shake and apply, that'll output plenty of this foul-smelling crap. Just move away a little bit here. What the heck? Yeah, this is just not... There it goes. God damn. I can see it being applied, but it's like... Yeah, there's times when it goes on just fine. Is there no pressure in it? Oh, it's clogged. It is definitely clogged. Better this thing isn't pressed down enough. Ah! Ah! Jesus Christ. I know how to use a spray can. This thing is just all fucked up. Jeez. Oh, I can taste it. It's all messed up. So, if this thing were able to function properly, that's a squeak. So eat right in my ear. If it were able to function properly, I could get more even of a coat of matte stuff on this. As it is right now, something is wrong with the spray bottle, and something is wrong with the spray bottle, okay? This is not putting stuff out the way that it should. I don't know if it's clogged. There's a weird geometry to the spray nozzle where I can't sound the whole thing with like a syringe. I can't get something all the way down. So I don't know if it's a clog. When I shake the can, it does actually flow the stuff out. But again, this is like so uneven. This guy got much better results. We can just see right here in the YouTube video. So this is one of those things where I have to prove to you guys that I did everything correctly. He's got total control over it. What is he doing? Show it again. Spray more. Look at that. Total control. And it's coming out thick, and you can see it drying as he sprays it. This ain't on me. This is a bad can. I'm not going to buy another can of this stuff. Yeah, can's busted. You need another. I go over this stuff constantly, and then you guys come in here and just tell me that I'm doing it wrong. So I have to triple prove my worth. Yeah, siphon tube. That's what I'm thinking it is. There's a tube inside of cans like this, and it's really supposed to go down through most of the bottle, and that's why you're able to get expanding gas in the top, and then it flows out, right? So if that tube fell, then I would just be getting gas, but I'm not even getting gas, so the tube could be clogged. But I don't know why, if I'm shaking it, it suddenly gets boosts of... Well, here it's not doing anything, so I think it is clogged. There, like that. That worked. It could also be the geometry of the cap is just bad. Let's try to like shave those things down so I can get a little bit more press down on the thing. I don't know how much I want to do this. It's starting really stinking here. It's possible that it got jostled in shipping and that knocked the siphon tube away. Does not go quietly into the night. So basically, if I cut down the little ramp on the outside and allow it to fall further, so I just need to get a cutter in there. The problem with cleaning it out is that here, let's get the micro again. Problem with cleaning it out. So you can see this little panopticon that it's got going on in the middle here. It's got a disc on top of it. Don't know what that's all about. Then it has this little channel, which could be square, I don't know. but then that meets up with the nozzle itself off axis. So the nozzle probably expands and then narrows down to a nozzle again. So I can't poke something in there to fully clean it out all the way back to the sprayer. So if something is in this channel, I'm SOL. Why would they design this way? I think my best bet is to cut that thing so that I can push this down more and open that valve more, and maybe that'll pop something out. I don't have contact cleaner. I mean, I could try doing this. Get any clumps out? Dunno. Try it again. Should do it this way. Now we're thinking with spray cans. Oh God, it's just dribbling shit all over the place. Ah, and I can feel it popping because it's boiling off all of the butane. Backfeed air for the compressor. That would have been a better idea. No, I backfed butane. Everything's gonna be, everything is gonna smell like feet. God damn it. Oh. This thing seems to spray perfectly fine though. This is a nozzle issue. That's even more of an issue because all the shit got into this. Let's just see if that works. I'll pop it off again if I have to. Hold on, I'll close this first. Yeah, I'm not getting WD-40 on it. Same problem. It's actually spraying a little better now. There's nothing coming out. Yeah, so the siphon tube dropped. It's, oh, that scared me. Oh, it smells like feet. That picked up on some stuff because I bounced it a little bit. I think the siphon tube has dropped into this. No, I'm not using the air compressor on this. I'm also not adding WD-40. I could spray sideways, maybe? No. It's really hard to get this thing to be consistent. Yeah, I gotta shake it in order to get the spray at all, so it's not consistent. Damn it! Stream canceled. We're rage quitting this one, because I can't figure this foot spray is supposed to do really well. But something broke because I ordered this online. Maybe I could just get it from like Acme. I'll do that. I'll go buy a bottle from Acme. How much was this stuff? New item. Destroys odor instantly. It's not a pleasant, I mean, it's not a bad smell, but it's really not a smell that I want in this much compression. It's very floral. Can orientation versus the cap is important on some cans. Maybe try rotating the cap. I don't think that's going to do anything. I know on like older spray bottles, it can kind of settle to one side, but this is brand new. And you saw what that guy did. The guy just friggin' used it. It was fine. Do it from the front. No, it's just, see, it's just nothing coming out. Nothing. You can hear it. It's just outgassing. Get that nice and warm so the butane can properly. I mean, the other thing that I could do is decant this into a container, probably by spraying it upside down in excess, because it seems like the tube is gone. Yeah, it's Jeff Bezos cost cutting. He said they can shake it when they spray their filthy fucking feet with this stuff. Listen, it is not lost on me that my return from a week of not working on projects is a wet fart of a stream. And actually, it's not even achieved wet fart status, because if this is a wet fart, we know that the stuff in the fart would dry and leave us with a matte finish. But unfortunately, we just get the complete impotence of this Dr. Scholl's Odor X Ultra Foot fetish spray. I think what I need to do, I'm just gonna like go to CVS and get another bottle of this stuff next time I'm at CVS, next time I'm at Acme, and then we'll bring all this stuff out again, and we'll try 3D scanning. I promise we'll get to the 3D scanning at some point. God, it's only almost 3 o'clock. How long have I been streaming for? 2 hours and 5 minutes. I guess the most important part of the stream is the story, all the stuff that's been happening to me in the background. That is, all of the trauma that I've experienced is to get better, so it's all good. It's all good news, but it was a struggle. That last week was a shit show. Sorry if I haven't been totally present. I'm always around Discord, though, and we're going to have another stream on Thursday. Thursday, we're going to work on Burn the Subs. I promise. Unless something super... Accidentally. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you with the screwdriver. I was gesticulating with a metal screwdriver and I went tack right on this thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to put this away. Nothing good comes from a screwdriver like that. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna get my ducks in a row, get another thing of foot fetish spray, and try to figure out, a can that hasn't been through our wonderful package system and used essentially like a cricket, what do you call it? Wicket? No, that's not. Something gets bounced around a lot. I don't know. It hasn't been through like a tumble dryer in the package. And maybe that's the solution, because this can is broken. And everybody has their suggestions, but you guys got to pay attention when I'm troubleshooting, because I'm really good at troubleshooting. You can see I go through all the steps of troubleshooting very quickly. I check to see whether or not this thing was rotated in the wrong way. No, there's 2 positions it only does that. I check to see spraying it upright, not happening. More pressure, not happening. Upside down, got spray. Pop the top off. Take a look at the inside of the nozzle. It has a weird sort of design to it. We can see that you can click it over to the side wrong, and it might destroy the clicking action, but it didn't destroy the ability to push it down. Now I could at this point cut that a little bit in order to make it press down further, but we're running on the information that we have where this doesn't work, but this does. So clearly the tube inside that's supposed to siphon out the material is gone. When I spray it like this, it's inconsistent. It's pushing, well, I guess it is pushing the right stuff through if that tube is gone. We don't know how tall that tube is though. So upside down, by all means, it should be spraying air. When I write it again, all the stuff settles down and we're spraying air again. So whatever it was, it's gone, and it's very high up in this thing. Spraying it like this, I guess I could get it to spray properly, but we didn't get all that much consistency in the spray. The product was not coming out properly. So something else could be wrong with this. Is it a clog? I sprayed stuff the wrong way through, and that went through. I mean, it went through the nozzle, so that's clearly working. So that's just the way it is. I sent a letter to Dr. Schultz. It was $9. That's more trouble than this thing is worth. I don't know if I make $9 a stream, to be honest. The explanation is another reason why Dr. Scholl may send you a case of their product. Odor X, ultra odor fighting, all day, odor protection, destroys odors instantly, freshens feet and shoes, absorbs sweat. I can't emphasize to you how little I need a case of this fucking shit in my house. 1 bottle is enough. I've only ever wanted to 3D scan one object, and it's sitting right there so far. Anything else that I would scan probably would not be getting the foot powder, the butane foot powder. Flammable. Do not use while smoking. No, I definitely not. Look. Random question. My dad ordered... Oh, this is very... Okay, Belly Arms, what do you got? Dad ordered a PCB board for like $5. Those are pretty cool. You can from China, and they told him he had to pay like $40 or something for customs. Do you know a good place in the US that does boards? There's a couple. I don't know them directly. I don't know the names off the top of my head today because I haven't looked at them. There are a couple that are pretty popular, and you can look on... There's websites where you could compare the features from the different board houses. I don't know what the quality of the USA PCBs are. I've only tried a couple of the different places. And yeah, I haven't done any PCB projects lately because of the tariff situation. JLC, isn't that in China? I used them last. They were pretty good. Who's the one with the like purple board? Is that JLC? Because yeah, one of them was in the States. Brother found a piece of rose stem and a bottle of 7-Up. Oh, weird. Sent over a truck of about 10 cases of soda. Yeah, look, soda's different. I'm not going through foot spray. PCB Way, that might be the one. Yeah, these are all familiar names, and I'm only vaguely familiar with all these different companies. I may need to find a place that does comparable. I would take $20 PCBs. You know, the $5 PCB thing was always like way over the top. It's crazy that they can do it for that cheap when, you know, you get a bunch of designs together and put it into essentially what is an automated machine. But idea, send it back. No, I'm not going to do that. It's too much trouble. Too much trouble. The foot spray failed because the sprayer failed. I don't want to be that extra as to decant the foot spray and then put it into an airbrush. That's a little bit much. I don't want to sit there in the morning and use this thing to spray my feet. That's so cursed. No. It's the scent is going away pretty quickly. It could be that I'm nose blind to it. But when we get back on Thursday, we're going to be working on Burn the Subs. We're going to be doing wiring. So it'll be kind of a chill stream. I'm going to clean all this stuff off of the desk so that I have room to work and room to think. And then we will get the labeler out for that. I can shrink wrap labels onto the wires so that when I look at Burn the Subs in another 10 months, I'll know what's going on. We still have that Nixie counter to look at. We've got nothing but projects here. I mean, I've got so much stuff that I need to work on. But now that I've got all the doctor stuff out of the way, I'm eventually going to get better glasses and I'll be able to see better, and we'll be able to roll on with some of those things. The airbrush is attached to a compressor, yes. I didn't want to power up the compressor. That's what I said. I said that. I said I didn't want to use the compressor. So I'm going to wash this thing off and figure out another way to 3D scan it. We're gonna beat this thing, right? We're going to make sure that we get this thing done. That, and I need to look up a couple tutorials on the modeling aspect of it, because I'm not familiar with, I'm a little familiar with meshes and Fiusion360. I just don't know the workflows. So I got the corrugated plastic out here to be a nice platen beneath the thing so we could get a really good scan. But that didn't really work out. The spray part kind of screwed us up. And, you know, sometimes that's all it takes. This is something where 99% of the time the can's going to work perfectly well. I just happened to get the one that had something bad happen to it. So, oh well. Try to sprinkle some baby powder on it. Yeah, well, the baby powder is just going to come off. At that point, I might as well just use the spray chalk, because the spray chalk made a perfectly uniform white coating over the whole thing, but I think it's a little bit too bright. Like if it was more gray, I think the scanner would like it a lot better. But you're saying I'm going to get a can of it and it's going to be depressurized from being on the shelf for so long? That may be, but whatever. Next time I'm out doing errands, I'll look for some of this stuff and see if I can buy another can of it. That can, if I were a little bit more out in the sticks, I would use for target practice at this point. Just boom, and a big spray of foot powder, maybe an explosion if put a little ignition source near it and then hit it with like a 9mm. But no, none of that's going to happen. I'll probably just throw it out. That sucked. The 3D scanner is perfectly capable, though. We've got a good scan of this thing in the wheel. I wanted to get a slightly higher detail scan so that this ridge, so I could exploit that ridge a little bit more in order to make my trace of the whole thing. But we'll try to figure it out. I mean, we'll see what I can get up to, you know? You're quoting something. Okay, guys, I'm wrapping it up. Guys, gals, everything outside and in between. I'm done for the day. That's enough for me. We're getting back into the swing of things. We'll have longer stream. Doing the wiring harness for Burn the Subs is going to take time, so we'll have plenty of time next stream to chew the fat and digest it. Weird. That's a weird. You shouldn't just eat fat. That's disgusting. Why are you gross? Don't be gross. I will be back. In the meantime, I am on I'm not on Blue Sky. I need to cross that out in this end card. But this is the end card. We're rage quitting. We're rage quitting because the spray didn't work and the whole stream was about the spray. I'm not on Blue Sky. My account got fucking blown up because it got hacked. I don't know. One day I looked and I had like a message that was an advertisement message, and then Blue Sky killed it, and they haven't responded to my email yet. Same thing happened with my Reddit account a long time ago. They emailed me back in a year, and I was able to get it back. So I don't know what's going to happen with Blue Sky. I'm going to keep that in there, but I'm on Discord. It's pretty much the only social media now that I have is Discord. But hey, whatever keeps you sane. If you guys want to interact with Obata, that's the best place for you to do it. See you later, Terminator. Oh, this is because it like rhymes. It's like, I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. Why does everybody keep asking me that? All right, I will catch you guys on Thursday. In the meantime, be prolific, spread out, and let your freak fly. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Well, not whatever you actually know. You gotta. There's laws, but you know, you get the drift. It's really, I'm just killing time until I can find the scene. That's like way down here. It's called technical issue, and that's how I kind of end the streams abruptly, sort of in the middle of like a word. I will hit that.